Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to elenasbarre, low impact full body workouts. This is a Saturday and we don't have any makeup or anything crazy. I didn't even come here today. So out of the question, today we are talking with Melody about high impact, high intensity workouts versus the low impact workouts. And we had a friend over yesterday who is deep into the kettlebells. And I know some of you were reaching out to me, asking me to do this format, the kettlebells. And guys, we are not a fan of the kettlebells, and we are going to tell you why in this video, if you stick around with us, okay? Let's start with Melody. Melody was bringing up some interesting points. Well, what do you think about the kettlebell? Well, any high impact workout really that puts a lot of load, a lot of tension, a lot of pressure on your joints when it affects your alignment. So because it's too heavy, my concern with the kettlebell is that it's too heavy, and then if you thrust it and if you throw it the wrong way, you can injure your wrist. You can really tear up your shoulders, your back muscles, and then if your posture is wrong while you are doing it, you can seriously injure your back, So I see a lot of people when they do, and he even brought up the book. And if that guy who wrote the book, he is the professional kettlebell, let's say, he definitely knows the alignment, he does it the right way. Maybe it might work for some people, but why to expose yourself to these risks of so many injuries when there are so many safe workouts out there? I just don't understand this. Melody, what's your take? Sorry, I was kind of
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, it kind of comes down to like, is the risk worth it when there are alternatives? Low impact things with just anytime that the way the laws of physics work, it doesn't matter if it's like airplanes or fitness. When you have something very heavy that's further away from like the pivot point, is going to create a whole lot of especially once you get it going, you get this momentum, and that's a lot of force. And then if you're not completely controlling it with your muscles, basically your ligaments and tendons and stuff could be the ones like putting the brakes on the movement, which is how you get tears and injuries and things that could potentially make it so that even like low impact options are difficult. So yeah, I just say, yeah, when there are other options available. And I don't know, if the kettle, I don't even know if it's kettlebells or kettlebells, to be honest. I don't know, maybe I've heard it both ways, but anyway, the little kettle things, the big heavy like bowling balls with handles. Yeah, and I don't know if that's like kind of the appeal behind them, is that like because there is that explosive movement that's like causing like even if you don't get a ligament or tendon tear, you're still getting little like micro tears, and that potentially could make the muscle bigger because it has to do more repair work. But really, fitness, I guess there is an aesthetic component to fitness. Like if you're working out, eating healthy, getting a good balance of like strength, stretching, cardio, you're going to be in generally good shape. But having like these huge muscles to where you can't even put your arms down and stuff, like, is that even in shape? And I don't want to throw out too much numbers or stuff because I don't have the data in front of me, but like building muscle is not, it's not easy on the body, like building excessive amounts of muscle. And so that kind of gets into fitness too. It's like, okay, you look big and swole, but if ultimately you're decreasing your healthy years, later down the road.
Yeah, the argument that was brought up yesterday in the conversation when I started questioning, okay, why do you like it? How do you find the benefit? And he said that he lost a lot of calories while he was doing it. And I bet he did. It's a lot of work. But my question was, is it functional? Does it actually not injure you? by bringing you this, benefits of feeling stronger and building muscle. What else does it do in addition to? And see, you have to be like really analytical about fitness, and yeah, even if something seems to be effective and seems to work, why and what course does it have on everything else? As Melody mentioned, what effect does it have on your ligaments, on your joints while you are doing it? I see a lot of women do it, and what frustrates me a lot is to see the poor posture while they are doing it, because it's a lot of weight. It's like lifting, like those deadlifts. If you don't do them the right way, if you don't activate your abdominals and just rely on the back strength, you are going to tear up your back. There is no way around it, and then you'll complain on the back. And even if you can sustain it, like Melody, we talked with Melody about safety in fitness a long time ago, right? We have some other videos, so you can check them out. And I think in one of the videos, Melody, you've mentioned that what's the effect? Is it worthy to injure yourself while you're doing it? Because what's going to be the effect afterwards, like when you are 60, when you are 70, when you are not able to do the kettlebell anymore? What are you going to do next? What are you going to do then?
Right. And yeah, and that's the other thing, is that like muscles atrophy so quick. And like I remember, back when I was framing and stuff, and like, just pulling sheets of plywood onto the roof like all day long. And I mean, I had big, well-defined muscles. I mean, not to the point where I looked manly, but I just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm just like ripped for life now. And like, no, like a month, and I didn't even like, quit framing and go to a desk job. I just went to more like interior remodel work. So I was still like carrying around like 5-gallon buckets of paint and, wood and stuff, but I mean, not as heavy as stuff. And within a month, like, my muscles were back to pretty much what they look like now. And same with, playing French horn, just, practice like 3-4 hours a day to keep your facial muscles, in shape for getting the high notes and stuff. And then quit playing for just a couple weeks, and it's like your muscles are gone. So even if you do get good results with that type of exercise, it's you really have to keep it up for as long as you want to keep up the results. It's not like, go in and do your fitness
I don't
thing
really
and...
see, this is something, guys, you should pay attention to. Who usually does the kettlebell? The younger people in their 40s, maybe, but you don't see an 80-year-old grandma doing a kettlebell. I mean, maybe some do, I just, for the majority, it's a generalization here, but you look at people who post, the kettlebell exercises on social media. I see some younger women, they're in 20s, and they're getting into the fitness industry. They're getting into being a fitness instructor. They really seem to enjoy the kettlebell. And yeah, but I want to see the same women, these men who are doing it now, in 20 years, in 30 years. And I don't wish them bad. It's just I'm really curious. I'm concerned what is going to happen to their bodies when they no longer can sustain that.
Right. Yeah, and just the I don't know, it's weird movements too, and it's not like functional like movements that you'd use in day to day, like, because even like, doing like bar type stuff where you're doing really repetitive with like light hand weights, that's, go to the food bank and put, cans up on the shelf all day, like, you're using, muscles and movements and things that you would normally, like, you never go to pick something up and just like fling it up.
Yeah, thrust it up there. Yeah, it's a good recipe
you have a little kid that enjoys, being lifted up and down real quick. But then, just grab a kid who enjoys that, if you got a little niece or nephew and
yeah,
stuff. But yeah, it's just it's not
that
really
functional
movement. And like I said before, there's some things in yoga where like headstand, for instance, like not really something that you do in your day to day, but learning to like use those muscles and engage them actually like trains your body to use your shoulder in a safer manner. Maybe we can do maybe we'll do like another headstand and kind of get into like, how that works sometime. It could be fun.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so there's when there's something that like, yeah, okay, so this isn't exactly what you're doing in your day-to-day life, but there's things that carry over. I don't see as much of that with like kettlebells, because there's just
Yeah.
not a lot of times where you're, doing like
You are
explosive
standing,
heavy lifting, like
yeah, you're
repetitive
just standing
things.
in place also. You are only moving uh like it's almost like isometric hold, right? When you are throwing one side and then you're trying to balance on the other side, and it's not like it's not moving the rest of your body really. I mean, you are thrusting with one hand up, and for the most part, well, there are some variations like they can do double hands, but yeah, it's like, yeah, it does activate your glutes, but because you are not really using your legs to, you're not strengthening your legs muscles, you're not, it's not like properly balanced workout. If you are hoping to get like a balanced workout out of it, I don't think you will get it, because based on what I've seen, and I may not have seen enough, I maybe need to do more research, on that field. And unless you're professional, unless you know what you're doing, and unless you're under the supervision of that instructor, and you take one-on-one class in person where they can correct you, I would just stay away from it, honestly, because I don't see how it impacts the body in a good way.
Right. And even if there are some benefits, like I said, there's just so many options out there that are a lot safer, and you should, anytime you're starting any new exercise thing, it's always a good idea to get a baseline, even if you're like young and healthy, because I mean, you can get early onset glaucoma, and like people think about like, fitness injuries, like pulling a hamstring or tearing a rotator cuff. But anytime that you do inversion stuff, if you are prone to high intraocular pressure, like high pressure inside your eyeball, you could do some serious damage to your vision,
Yeah.
And then same with, things like high blood pressure. That's something that you might not feel that you have it. Also things like osteoporosis. Lana and I were talking about that
Yeah,
earlier.
osteopenia.
Something where like a lot of times, sometimes people as they get older, it's like, and especially if they had it in their family, or have some risk factors, they're like, yeah, maybe I'll get checked out. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't find out until they have a really minor fall. They go in, it's broken, and then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you have osteoporosis, and it's pretty advanced at this point. So yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt to just, before you start any exercise thing, like get just kind of a general physical, get your eyes checked, get your general health checked, and then also do at least a few sessions, with someone who's trained. Even something online could, is certainly like more helpful than, just reading a book or just do it on your own. So I think Elena does one-on-ones online.
I do. I just don't have. I only have one spot left. I only can take one person because it's a lot of work. Like it's a commitment, and also, guys. Yeah, Melody brings up a very important point. Yeah, you can with all the fitness that everything's going on right now in the fitness industry, there are a lot of fitness instructors who don't know how to teach a safe fitness. So you have to apply really objective criteria in choosing a fitness instructor so that he is safe, he knows what he's talking about, he knows anatomy. He doesn't have to be like guru in anatomy, but he has to know the basics, so that you don't injure yourself. He has to know the posture, the alignment. Check out the video. I did the objective criteria for fitness instructors, and my frustration with the fitness how people view it, today they view it as entertainment. They don't view it as getting healthier, safer workouts, getting proper posture, proper alignment. There is a lot of content out there on social media, but if you try to actually exercise, not just enjoy and watch the girls wearing these mini shorts, mini skirts, crop tops, but if you actually do the workout, you're going to seriously injure yourself. because they are not teaching you the proper posture. They are not, I'm going to make another video where I'm kind of, showing you the example of what you are being taught, and yeah, it might look cute, don't get me wrong, they are the young butt sticks out, a lot of you will say yeah for this, cool, but the point is not to enjoy how the girl looks, does she teach you a safe fitness? If yes, then okay, she's a legitimate fitness instructor, not somebody that she claims to be. And a lot of instructors, or I would say that content creators, they get away with it because they can call themselves like, oh, I'm more like a content creator, I'm more like an entertainer, and then it's like, why are you in the fitness industry, period? Then you shouldn't be teaching people fitness at all, because you don't know how to do it safely. And this is my big concern, people who don't know how to do something safely, well, they shouldn't be doing it at all, because there is already a lot of competition, and they only make it harder for those who actually do know anatomy, who actually can provide you with safe fitness,
Right. Yeah. And unfortunately, like some of the, I don't know, I guess some of the poor form is more like aesthetically appealing. And that's even the case in yoga. I mean, I feel like it has been for a while. A lot of times people, just go straight to some, it's like about getting the head to touch the knee rather than like hinging at the hips and getting a good hamstring stretch, like regardless of where your head falls, but yeah, so and yeah, you see someone that's, got their head down to their knee or whatever, and it's like, oh wow, she must really know what she's doing. But it's like, yeah, but her back is way too rounded, and that's not a healthy way to be, folding forward. And but yeah,
the flexion of the spine is a big health concern, and there is some research, as we were talking with Melody about it. She brought up some interesting articles, and also I wanted you to read about osteopenia, osteoporosis, and I shared some articles with you guys. Yeah, sometimes you don't even know that you have those, and unless you are already doing safe fitness that is modified, or I'm not saying it's like simplified, but you have to be mindful of what you are doing, because if you are thrusting your body in all sorts of ways, and then they are like physically, from the physical standpoint, from anatomical standpoint, make no sense, like high impact, high intensity workouts, except for cardio boost. But then I've seen a few emergency cars stopping by at the gym and collecting those people who were in this high intensity, high impact cardio, and then they had a cardiac arrest. It's like, is it really worth it to go like that far, into fitness, or can you kind of anticipate, and based on your anatomy, based on how you are feeling, do safe fitness, and yeah, what I see happens in the gyms, this is why I'm not in a rush to teach in the gym, it's just crazy,
people push themselves way too far. Like, yeah, just like a couple weeks ago, I guess someone like passed out in the sauna.
Wow.
Just like I have to make myself stay in, like, however long, even though I feel like I'm gonna die. It's just like, I mean, I love the sun, and usually I'd, stand for like 20 minutes or so. I bring a magazine or something to read, but there's been times I've gone in, like the heat is like so jacked up super high. I'm like, it's only been 7 minutes, but I'm done, but yeah, I feel like at the gym, and there's just people go there and they want to push themselves. And then there's also, I think maybe some of the pressure, just having people around you, then you don't want to look like you're, wimping out after like however many minutes or reps or whatever.
There is so judgment going on in the gym, even when I knew better, and even when teachers tell you, oh, don't judge everyone, just being yourself. It's hard to do when you are exposed to so many people around you. And I was doing yoga, I think, with in the gym. And then yeah, I was kind of looking at everybody who was like doing it. I didn't really focus on myself, you know. And then I saw people like, yeah, you're so flexible, you were so well. I'm like, no, like, why do you
Yeah, it's not a performance.
yeah, why do you compare, guys? It's just your experience, your body. It should be definitely tailored to your needs, to your body anatomy. Guys, let us know what you think in the comments about fitness, you know, gym versus online, and what do you think about the topics, okay?